Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you my painting process for my piece on Sherlock from Sherlock. As you guys might know, I'm a little bit obsessed, and this is definitely not the first Sherlock piece that I've done. I've done 3 by now. So I just wanted to show you my painting process and show you how I sort of achieve a likeness. But before we get started, I wanted to say thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. So first off, I'm going to have all the materials that I used for this down in the description, but of course I always use my Canson XL watercolor paper, as well as the Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints, the 36 set, and some Treacle art brushes, as well as some miscellaneous, cheaper brushes that I have. I really like these supplies. They're always a go-to. I love how they work, and I'm very familiar with them. I love the Canson XL watercolor paper just because it's really thick. I like the texture of the paper, how it's cold pressed, but also not like an awkward, weird texture where the paint kind of sits in the grooves of the paper. It's just a very natural texture. I'm not a fan of hot press paper for watercolors. I don't love the bleeding edge effect that you get with hot press paper. I really like cold press paper because it's just very natural. It just looks kind of effortless in my opinion. And the Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints, they're just a go-to for me. I like that they have opacity to them, but you can have them be a little bit more transparent. However, recently I've just been finding that my skills with watercolor have not been as good. I'm seeing that my paintings have a lot more of a muddy quality, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. Maybe it's just something that I've been noticing more recently in my work. Maybe, beforehand I wasn't quite as quote-unquote skilled or technically knowledgeable of what was going on, but just recently I've been feeling that my works have been a little bit more muddy. And I think maybe that's just because the Kuretake paints aren't meant to really be mixed with one another, just because they do have some opacity to them, and so the more that you mix them, the muddier they become. I'm thinking that might be one of the cases. So the part for this painting that I really found to be the most challenging was achieving the darks, because these paints do lift pretty easily. That's one thing I like about them, is that they do lift. They don't really stain so much. It's like a perfect amount of stain/lift for me. And so if I don't like some hard edges created, I can just easily lift them, wait for the paints to dry, and I can have like a softer effect to my paintings. But I'm just not really sure if I just need to be more selective with the colors I use in my paintings, or if I need to try out my other, my Holbein paints, if I should try using those more than the Kuretake paints. However, I have had this Gansai Tambi set for a couple of years now, and so I'm wondering, maybe do the paints get old? If you have any insight information, please let me know down in the comments. I'm thinking probably it has to do with me mixing too many colors, but just recently I haven't been so pleased with my watercolor skills, and now I know that the Gansai Tambi paints aren't like a traditional watercolor, and so they won't act the same as like a Holbein paint, but I've just been kind of in a rut with that. However, let's talk about Sherlock for a second. I had posted on my Instagram and asked you guys what you would like to me to talk about for this painting, and a lot of you were saying just talk about your love for Sherlock, so I guess I'm going to do that for just a second. I'm not like a crazy fan, like the fan fiction kind of crazy fan. I'm definitely not. I was not on the Sherlock craze because I'm the kind of person who does not like to be on any kind of trend craze. So I was not into Sherlock. I was not into 21 Pilots or Post Malone because they were all very trendy and popular, and then you get into them and you're like, oh, okay, this is really good. That's why people like it. So that same thing happened with Sherlock. I didn't want to just be another fan girl, so I didn't watch it. And then finally I started it and I loved it. I've been an OG fan of Sherlock Holmes for a long time. I really liked the series of Sherlock Holmes with Jeremy Brett, so I was just used to that show, and I didn't really want to get into like a modern Sherlock Holmes kind of show. However, it's done extremely well, and I really love it. Let's just say that the last season was cool, but not satisfactory. I'm not gonna get into details. I just wasn't very pleased with the last episode. It was cool, don't get me wrong, but not what I wanted. Okay, let's take a quick break and let's talk about the sponsor of this video. I love Squarespace. I have a Squarespace website. I think my website is pretty chic, simple, and I am very pleased with it at the moment. I am thinking about adding an FAQ page, maybe, and a commission page later on, but for the meantime, I really like how simple it is and how I have sort of a portfolio as well as my shop in my website. And it was really easy to make the website because of how many great quality templates Squarespace does have for their website. And so I was able to quickly look through exactly the type of sort of portfolio website I wanted and to choose that for a template. But alongside all of the wonderful modern templates that Squarespace has, it also has a built-in image editor, automatic image scaling, video backgrounds, and you can easily import from Twitter, Instagram, Flickr, that kind of thing. You can definitely pull content from other social media to put into your website, as well as 24/7 email support. Squarespace has a great support team. So if you're looking for a very reliable, well thought out platform for your domain and your website, check out Squarespace. I'm going to have a link down in the description for a free trial to the website, and once you're ready to launch the site, you can use my code to get 10% off your first purchase. So thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video and making it possible for me to put out content for you guys. Okay, let's talk about why I'm painting Sherlock in particular. So I'm not a crazy Sherlock fan. As I said, I do really enjoy the show. If you can hear any wind, that's because we have a severe thunderstorm warning right at the moment, so I'm recording that right now. But I really like drawing Benedict Cumberpatch because as a person who does not draw men or guys very often, I struggle with it somewhat. And I've noticed that he has a very easy face to draw, and since he has such unique features and unique bone structure, it makes it easier to draw him rather than a more vanilla, bland kind of white guy. You know what I mean? He's much easier to draw than, let's say, Tom Holland, right? So I really like his face because it's really unique and it has very interesting features. So I have drawn him quite a couple of times by now, and I also like his hair. I think his hair is easy to draw just because I'm used to drawing big hair on girls, and then when you draw a guy, you have to draw their head shape, but guys have technically smaller heads than girls, but then I make the heads too small on guys when I do that, so his hair just hides everything. I think he's a very good practice exercise for me whenever I want to draw guys, so I really like drawing his face. It's very interesting. If you've never done it, I would recommend it if you're into trying something new. It's just that all of his features are very unique, so I've enjoyed doing that. Lastly, I'm also painting on a pretty large surface for me. I think it's an 11 by 14 piece of paper. I'm not 100% sure, but usually I'm used to painting on 8 by 10 or 5 by 7, and so I've been trying to branch out and paint bigger recently, and it's a little bit more of a challenge to do so. If you're used to drawing and painting small, to use bigger strokes and enlarging your drawing so that it has proper proportions at a larger size is a little bit more challenging, but I've been trying to get into that a little bit more lately just because it is better for you as an artist, for your wrists, and just in general for displaying, to paint and work bigger. And also, if you're wondering what the undersketch for this painting was, it was just a pencil, a mechanical pencil drawing. I didn't lighten it, I didn't do anything to it. I knew that I was drawing a guy who was going to have some harsher features. I knew I was going to be using some colder tones like grays and greens and blues in this piece, so I didn't worry about the pencil drawing affecting my painting. If you're going to be doing something that's supposed to be very bright and colorful and vibrant, you might not want to use a graphite pencil for your undersketch. You might want to use a colored pencil, or if you use a graphite pencil, you might use a kneaded eraser to lift up most of the sketch so you can barely see it. Personally, I did not have a problem with the sketch showing through and the graphite kind of blending in with the paint a little bit, because I knew I wanted sort of a duller, grayer effect for this painting. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think of this painting, what you think of Sherlock, the last, without any spoilers, what you thought about the last episode of the last season. Do you think there will be a new season coming out? Because I doubt it, but I really hope there will be. Not sure. Anyway, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos because I try to put them out consistently, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.